Hey guys, my name is Shantae and welcome to my budgeting YouTube channel. So in the last two videos, for the first video I described all of my categories. This is YNAB, it's called You Need a Budget. It's how I budget my money and track my spending. So in the first video I explained all my categories and all my accounts that you see over here on the left side. In the second video, this month I was behind 2 weeks in tracking my spending and I have 2 paychecks to budget. So in the second video I tracked all of my spending for the past 2 weeks across all of my accounts. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 accounts I had to track. It's the end of the month. It's May 2026. It's the end of the month. So I need to get everything together and in its place. I have a lot of things to fix, but that'll probably also be a separate video that I'll likely film today. Just because I want to go through June with a fresh start. So I want to organize things that haven't been going the way I want them to. But for now I am going to budget my paycheck. I have 2 paychecks to budget. One is a higher amount than I usually get because I had some overtime. So as you can see in the screen box over here, $725.71 was the paycheck I got after taxes and everything. So I had overtime for maybe a day or two, or it might have just been 1 day, I'm not sure, I don't remember. So this is for the paycheck on, let me check. I'm just going on my phone into my account to check. So this was from May 20th, around there. So that Thursday, Friday, sometime Wednesday, it just depends when I get my paycheck, when I put it in and stuff like that. So this was from week 4, and then I got an extra paycheck on the 27th. So May was a 5-month pay week, a 5-week pay month. So I got 5 checks this week, depending on how, because I could either get it on the 31st of last month, so last month would be considered a 5-month pay week, or I can consider it for this month. It doesn't really matter because I'm so ahead of my bills that it doesn't really matter. So let's see. Let me try to explain how I budget my paycheck. So I budget my paycheck technically on paper, but on my iPad in GoodNotes. So let me just go to it. So my bills have been set for pretty much a year or 2. So let me just open that up. So I budget my paycheck out on paper first. Before I even know what I get, I budget low on my paycheck. So I know I'm at least gonna get like $630. That's usually how it's been since I got the raise in January. So I budget $600, and that's enough to pay all of my bills and all of my cash envelopes, with even a few left over. And anything I get over that, I put into my sinking funds. And even some of my bills, as they change, I still budget higher than what my bills are, just to have a nice buffer. I'm gonna explain as I go, but like I said, I budgeted $600 for this paycheck, but I did so much overtime that I got $725, so that's $125 more than budgeted. And I am going to put my paychecks in the categories. So the way I budget, I split all my bills into 4. So I divide all my bills by 4, and I put a quarter of the amount in from each paycheck every time, same amount. And I'll explain as I go. So seeing that today or this month had 5 weeks, I usually don't put into my bills other than rent, just to give myself a nice cushion, rent and utilities. And then I have the extra money because every month, even if it's an extra week to maybe like 3 to 4 months out of the year, all of my bills can be paid with 4 paychecks. That 5th paycheck, since I'm a month ahead, is like extra money that I don't have to go to all my bills. So let's start I have to go down to hold-ins because this is the weird way that I budget my paycheck. Not hold-ins, I have to go down to 1 month ahead. Everything is collapsed. It's not how I usually do it, but I think it just looks neater than having everything out. I will deal with the overspending last. Usually everybody else that I watch deal with their overspending first, but I just need to put the money in the right categories. So I'm gonna collapse it so it's not so overwhelming. I have to go to 1 month ahead. So every week I add $300 to my 1 month ahead rent category. Oops, 300. So I live with my sister, so we go half on everything. So our rent is almost $1,700, but it's about $850 for both of us, I think. Let me see, because we paid it this month, so yeah, about $850 for both of us. But I try to get to a point where I can use my own paycheck to live on my own to see how much I'm able to spend. Right now, there could be a few fixes where I could add more to my rent, but right now I have it $300 each month, so if I was on my own I could pay like $1,200. A little more because I do put a lot in savings and stuff like that, so I could probably add another $100, like I'm almost up to $400. But yeah, I do $300 every week, even though I only pay about $850 for rent. So for my utilities, I need to get my pen so I can mark it off of my paper. It's my Apple Pen, hopefully it's charged, just so I can mark it off. I need to work on my setup because I'm a little cramped in here and I go between my phone and my tablet. So let me just mark that off. So for my utilities, I separate it into 3, but I usually do about, I don't do 300 each month, do I? Make sure it's not frozen. So let me just add what I need to add. So I separate it into parts, but I put it in one category, which is just 1 month ahead. So for the first utilities, I have $12.50, and that's for unexpected bills. So I add that in there. Then I have utilities which is usually like water or gas. It just depends what the apartment you're in. Sometimes you get water and gas, sometimes you get one or the other. But this one we pay water, yeah, only water and lights. That is another $31.25 for technically water. And then for the energy bill, usually everywhere you go you pay light separately, so I do another $31.25. Whoops, I did that completely wrong because I don't know what I was pressing there. So add another $31.25. And I do this every paycheck, 4 paychecks each week. So let me just do the math to see how much that is total each week. 12.5, 31.25, 31.25. So I put $75 in utility each week, and it's just building up. I thought I didn't have a target on it, but this one I have a higher target. I would like to do $800 each month, but it's a little weird because I take from it each month to pay the rent, and I just move it up into the rent category. So this is like a holding spot. So let me mark those off, and I'm done with that one, and I can move on to my monthly bills. So technically rent is paid for, I just separate it. Light is paid for, water is paid for. Was this from this month or last month? I gotta get my sister part and then I'll be able to put it in. I could put it in for mine because I have enough, and then put her part into my holdings. So for the internet, it is $50 a month, and me and my sister go half, but I try to be able to pay my bills in full. So once we're not living together, I can still pay it. So I still put the $50 each month. So divided by 4, that is $12.50. And this is technically the 4th paycheck. So that'll go green. And that's that $50 in there. And then I'll add my sister's and it'll be $75 and it'll be paid off. So that's why I got a little cushion in there. Let's see. Phone bill. My part is $42, so I do $11.50. So I do $46 a month. So you get a little cushion, but it's usually over because I gotta pay my mother's half because she'll pay it eventually, just sometimes I have to remind her. So car insurance, my car insurance, it's been going down lately. I have the least amount of coverage because I have a really old car. I'm hoping to get something newer, not brand new, just a updated car, but I hardly drive, so I don't see the reason for having full coverage. That's just me for this car. For my next car, most likely, but it's $89.83, but I still save $125 a month because that's around what I was paying last time when I had full coverage with a good company, but I just put it down to basic coverage. So I add $31.25 each week. And all these bills will start going green because it's the final paycheck, and that means I reach my targets. For my audiobook, it's $11.99. I save $12 each month, so that's $3. For my YNAB, it is $9 each month, but as you can see, I have a good cushion here, and I save more than it says. I only need $1.50, but I save $2.50 each week, and it just give a good cushion. Let's see. So $10 a month. I save $2.50 each week. That's $10 a month, and it's in the green, and it's probably even a little over. So I saved $10. It asks for $9. Same for my life insurance. I pay that each year. I never really know how much it's gonna be, but it's been $50, like 48-ish. For the past few years. I don't really have a high insurance policy either, but 2.5, and that's green as well. Do I want to pay these off with my accounts and do the half for my sisters? I don't know. I know she has the water bill, so this, she has her half, and I'll pay this one from about 1 month ahead. Utilities, and I'll pay my half. To do it in half is really weird, so I'll wait for that one. So that is all my monthly bills. everything is pretty much green other than the light bill, which I have to divide. So I spend out of my paycheck, I spend about $438.25 each week. It's usually the same. It doesn't really change, because even if this bill which changes drastically, depending on the month, I always save the same amount, and it just covers itself when it's higher or lower. In the summer months it builds up, in the winter I have that cushion. So let's go into my cashless envelopes or my spending money. So I shop once a month, and then I pick up little things here and there. It's becoming a bad habit. I used to be better at not spending so much on the daily. That just racks up and you wonder where all your money goes, but it hasn't been that way recently. But I still have a good cushion. I save $150 each month for groceries. It's just me. It's me and my sister, but she bought her own groceries, and then we just like ketchup and things like that we'll just put in the house. One person buys it, the other one buys it the next time, and then we'll just wait till it's needed again. So each week I add $37.50, and that should be green. Back to 1,000. I had like a really good cushion, because sometimes, like as you saw most likely in my last video, in my grocery budget, I can check it right here. Gotta remember what card I did it on. It's usually this one for my grocery card that's connected to my delivery pickup. Did I press it? Okay, so let's see. My last grocery bill is right here. So no, this was in April. I spent a total of $144, $139 out of my grocery, $5 basically out of my household. What's this most recent one here? Go? Nope. I guess a lot of small transactions. Where the big one at? Was it not in this card? It should be. But yeah, from what you can see from this one, that's usually how it goes. So I don't usually spend the whole $150 at the same time. So I do have like about $10 to $20 left over that I could spend throughout the week, throughout the month really. But sometimes I just go over with all these little purchases. $6 here, $6 here again. Hey guys, I'm back. It was a small interruption and I had to fix something. I started to speak and explain a few things, but then my mic wasn't on, so I'm trying to remember what I did last, but grocery is good, that's in the green. Now moving on to gas. Before I was able to save $50 each month, and I wasn't spending that each month, so I don't go out too often other than to work, and it's rare that I drive. So a half a tank, I'll use about a half a tank in a month, and a full tank before used to cost me like $50 for a full tank, so I was just saving that amount. But now for these past few times I had to get gas, it was almost $40, if not over $40 for half a tank. So it'll probably cost me $80 for a full tank. I still don't drive that much, but me and my sister, we go out and do a lot of things with our family. She's usually the one that drives, and that can come out of gas money as well. But $50 is probably not gonna cut it as much, so I'm definitely I'm using my cushion, because as you can see here, I spent $67 this month out of my $50 that I save. At the beginning of the month, I spent $39.44 on the 28th, which pretty much is the end of the month, so it'll probably last me maybe like 3 weeks. This recent fill up, it'll last me 3 weeks because I had to go to the doctor a little further out than I usually drive, and I don't like driving on less than half a tank, going that far out, 30 minutes there and back. It takes a good chunk of gas that you could see it go down, so I filled it back up. But this is basically for June. It'll last me for maybe 3 weeks if I don't go anywhere outside of work, which we do have plans, but my sister will probably be driving. Sometimes usually she don't ask for gas money, but I offer. So yeah, $67 in a month, like 20 days. We're gonna ignore that for now. I do have to make a lot of changes on my targets, on my budget, to change my paycheck to fit everything that I want. So let's add the normal amount for now, which is $12.50. Oops, did that wrong. What did that do? Okay, so I removed $37. Undo that. Okay. And add $12.50. So next is household. Household I don't spend a lot out of. Is the same thing. Me and my sister, if she sees something empty, she'll get it. If I see something empty, I'll get it. We're gonna need trash bags, and that's about it, because when I buy stuff, I buy it in bulk. So I buy big tissues, I buy big laundry detergent, things like that, and it's usually be like $13 for a whole gallon, and we don't go through it so quickly. So we'll need trash bags, and we'll need maybe paper towels, but $40 usually works, and it just builds itself up until I finally get stuff. I spent over $15 this month, but that's not too bad. So I do $10 a week. Next, unexpected. Unexpected is anything that, for this one, well, here's a few transactions all in this month. So $1, I don't even know what it was from. 82 cents, that's a credit card expense. $90 from my uncle. He paid, and well, I sent it to him, and I paid for something and he paid me back. So my Microsoft, what was Microsoft? Oh yeah, I had to get XL for something that I don't want. And then I add the credit rewards into unexpected, because it doesn't really have a place. It doesn't really go for anything specific. So that's usually how unexpected goes. You could even get money that doesn't count for anything. So I add $12.50 to it each month and save $50 a month for unexpected things. Sometimes I'll have a good cushion, but this is only about 3 months worth of cushion, 3 months worth of savings and stuff. Next is personal. Oops, did it again. Gotta undo that. Make sure to add it. So for personal, I add $6.25, not too much for me. I save $25 a month to spend on myself, because some of my personal stuff also come out in household, like soap, things like that, body wash. Trying to think what else. Yes, I don't really spend on personals too much, because like I said, I buy in bulk, so my stuff usually lasts me, so I'll spend a good chunk and then it'll last me. And it also comes out of other things, personal, like mouthwash, face lotion stuff, things like that. So recently I spent $80. I said this in my first video, but I bought my mother and my sister some flowers. My sister for her birthday, that was this month, and then I bought my mother some flowers for Mother's Day. I also sent my mother some money for Mother's Day, and I don't really have a holiday fund, so that's why it came out of that. And $9.99 is the Apple storage. I don't really have, well, I could take it out of technology, but I don't really put that much in technology, so I just put it in personal because I don't really spend from here otherwise. So next is lock appointment, which is just my hair appointment. I get retwists every like 3 to 4 months. And I also like buy shampoos and stuff like that, stuff for my hair. It has a good cushion. I do $6.25 as well. And it just builds up. I was saving way more than I needed to. So now I just do $25 each month, and it costs me about $75 every 3 months, or you know, every 4 months. But I like having a cushion just in case I want to get something done to my hair, maybe color, anything like that, or go to a proper salon, because my cousin, she know how to do hair, so she do my hair. Before my friend was doing my hair, she also knew how to do hair, but she lives a little further out, so now my cousin do it. So it costs way less than going into a salon, but if I ever wanted to, I'll have that cushion. BS is my business subscription. I do $12.50 each week and save $50 a month. So I want to build myself a business. I write stories. I have a second YouTube channel where I track my progress on writing my original stories, and I also draw as well, and I want to create a graphic novel, so I have a second YouTube channel where I stream for that, and any expenses that come out of here. So this month I wanted to update the drawing program I have, but I didn't want to spend, it was like $250 or like $300 for the latest version to just have it, but they had an annual subscription, so I paid for that. So $31.99. It wasn't really expected, but I had this money saved up for things like this, and maybe I'll get the whole program, but maybe I'll just keep the yearly subscription for $32. So that is my spending money, my cashless spending. And sorry, I was interrupted. That is my spending money. So let's go on to my sinking funds. I forgot what I was saying. So usually for my sinking funds, I spend, or I put aside $97.50 each month. A lot of this is going to change because I really need to make it a better system than what I have been doing. I just been putting the money aside. I kind of fell off of it where I would just put in the same amount and probably spending more than I'm saving. But before I was saving more than I was spending. Now it's kind of evening itself out. So I will have to re-budget in a lot of these categories really. So moving on to my sinkings fund. So I budget my check on the low end, so even if I get more than what I budget, that's extra money. I try to keep my expenses, my important bills, which is my monthly bills and my cash spending, within the $600 that I budget for. Anything over that is extra money. So I have, for this check, I had $189.96 left. And then I move on to my sinking fund. I do have a set amount that I have for my sinking funds, which it all totals together for $51. So that's more than the $30, but I don't use the full $600 in my first two categories. So I usually have $64.25 left from my $600 budget that I expect from my paycheck. My sinking funds, for the little amount that I put into the categories that I'm focusing on right now, it's a total of $51. So I'm gonna put that in and show you what I have been doing next after. So let me, car maintenance, get $5 a week. I keep pressing that wrong thing. So let me undo that. And I have to make sure I add it. $5. And these don't have a target, so they usually stay green. Moving expenses, I usually add $10. I'll get another year to save up for this because me and my sister are most likely staying in our current apartment for another year. Sorry, another interruption. I have so many alarms that go off to get myself ready for work because I will lose focus while I'm doing something, so I gotta make sure it's like this time, 3 minutes before, stuff like that. So yeah, back to this. Treat yourself. I give myself larger amounts. This is after all my bills is paid and after anything like car maintenance that's gonna be used eventually. So anything I need sinking funds for, after that, it's my money. I work for it. I can treat myself. I usually don't until I find a big purchase that I need or want. So I give myself about $5 on like a regular low check. That's the minimum I give myself. So for the new home, let me just explain this a little bit. Like I've been saying, for the car maintenance, let's say car maintenance, I have $393 in there, but also for my monthly bills, I'm never going to pay $638 for car insurance unless I pay for 6 months or something like that. So this big cushion don't really need to be there. I probably need 3 months at most, and anything else would go into either car maintenance for anything big that needs to be fixed. Last month I spent, let's go back. So this month in May, was last month or the month before? Okay, so in March I spent $248 for a car repair. So it was saving up, so I had about $600 in here before I had to pay that expense. It built back up, so now in May I had to pay for. So it's needed, it needs to be built up, but probably not that much, and definitely not that much for my insurance. So I also have an emergency savings where I have a new car. I have nothing in here, but all the extra money that I have in at least my car insurance can go into paying for a new car. So I really need to move some money around to make it more efficient and make it make better sense. So there's really no need for me to keep money in the categories like I do any more than maybe 3 months worth of the bill. So let me go back to which one did we do? Sinking funds we did. So the same for mortgage or a new home. This will also come out from other things that's saving up as well, and eventually I'ma move it to, this could go. So I'm gonna reorganize my budget and then I'll try to explain it better then, but for now I'm gonna keep it the way I had it and add, hopefully if I didn't already, the $10, save about $40 a month on that. So S&R, these are my baby nieces. I have a lot of nieces and nephews, but these are the babies in the family as far as close family go. So these are my brother youngest kids. My niece live with me. That's my daughter, not my daughter, my sister's daughter. She is the youngest daughter from my sister, but she's a teenager and she's working and she's basically an adult. So these are the babies and I save for them $5. So $20 a month for them, and this is for birthdays or whenever they come around and we go to a store and they ask for something. That's where it's coming from. Family events, so this is something that has to change as well, but usually I put $3 here, and then home decor, $3 here as well, for $12 a month each. So for this one, home decor I don't really use. It's getting a little bit up there, but I don't really use and I don't really save that much. And I can also use that money from household, because if I find like a lamp or a picture or something like that that I want, I could just, since I have so much building up in here, I could get it from there, and there's no real reason to have this other than to have it in savings rather than a monthly expense. But for my family events fund, we are doing way more than we used to for the past year, I would say. So we've been going out a lot more, going bowling, going to see a movie. Sometimes we go to each other's houses. So one family member in their household will plan something. We did something, when was it? Not that long ago. But we did something for that. That was real fun, but at the very least it costs gas money to get there. At most we're buying our own tickets for stuff. So I definitely need to build this up, so I might just put all of this into the family fund and do $5 or $6 a month in there. Hopefully it builds up, so we do something at least once a month, if not more than that. So definitely have to build that up quite a bit, but for now it just gets its $3 for both of those categories. And let me just mark it off, this one. Okay, so Christmas, again, that's just for the babies in the family, and it's only 2 of them that's close to me personally, so they get $5. So at the top it's just for birthdays and getting them what they want when I see them, and for Christmas I'll just save for the whole year and get them something that they can use. I mean, they're not really babies anymore, they're definitely getting older, but they're the youngest, so. And then this is a newer one, but technology also get $5. So $51 is about what I spend on my sinking funds for the bare minimum. So I also put in unexpected, the little bit of change that I usually have on the end. It changes a lot depending, but it's usually like a few cents, but not right now it's 96 cents. Let me go back, 0.96, and get that change over there, and that also helps my unexpected funds, so it just goes up a little by little. So as you can see, I have $138 left. That is the extra that I have in my check out of my regular budget. So lately I've been just putting that, usually I'll add like $15 here to any of my sinking funds, just a few. Sometimes I'll even give myself like an extra $100 and divide that $38 evenly amongst the rest of them. But lately I've been building my emergency fund, so I'll just put the extra in here. $138. So my emergency fund is at a $1,065. That's good, because I just really didn't have anywhere I wanted to put the extra money lately, so I just decided to build up an emergency fund. I need to build up a lot of things. I really need to go over my budget and work some things around and get it more to how my spending is actually going. So even right here, I added a new category for a pet that's gonna cost me at the very least $20, $30, $40, $55 a month. Me and my sister want to get a cat, so I put that there. I'm gonna start building that up next month, and we just gotta do the research before we can get it, but we want a cat. And what else? That's pretty much it. I have a lot to change, but I also have another paycheck, so I put it in unexpected, I'm pretty sure. Yep, 6/30/22. That was my last paycheck for this month. I got it around the 28th, and I'm just gonna move it to ready to assign this check into my categories. This is the 5th check of the month, so going to my monthly bills and my cash envelopes, you see everything is green, so everything is paid for the month. So this $630 is an extra paycheck for me. So this video is getting long, so I will have to budget this paycheck in a separate video, and then I'm also gonna have another video where I'm reorganizing my categories for the month of June so I can have a fresh start and actually get it to how I'm currently spending now and how much things are costing me now. Some things have to go up, some can stay the same, and all of these cushions can be moved at least to savings. So yeah, thank you for watching the video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you in the next video, and we'll be dividing up this paycheck. Bye guys.